Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the session. I'm Rashmi from Great HR and today's moderator of the session. So once again, a warm welcome to one and all, and thank you for joining us today in this exclusive session of Parichay Ask the Expert session. So as you know, our today's discussion is on the topic critical challenges and compliances of EPF and how HR can manage them easily. So before we begin, let's do a little bit of housekeeping on how this session goes on. So I'm sure few of you might be wondering, so what format will be followed in this session, Rashmi? Because I have a lot of questions to ask. Not to worry about that at all, because how we have planned this session is for first few minutes, there will be a discussion done on our today's topic with the help of our expert. And then it is followed by Q&A. So if you have any questions, please type them into question box in your Zoom control panel. I'll bring them up during the Q&A. Try and get the answers from our expert. Also, if you're worried about missing out on any part of our today's session, not to worry at all, because currently the session is recorded and soon it will be shared with all of you. Now, to give you a little bit of background on what is this Parichay all about. So friends, I'm sure few of you are already familiar with what is this Parichay, which Great HR is conducting and all of that. But for those of you who are not so sure what is it all about, here we go. So Great HR Parichay is a series of thought leadership webinars that brings together industry leaders on a common platform to discuss trending HR topics. So the aim of these webinars is to give SME and MSMEs an opportunity to connect with the industry leaders and domain experts and keep themselves abreast of the current trends and information. So under this, we have started our new initiative, Parichay Ask the Expert session. So these sessions are intended to have one-on-one interaction with industry leaders and subject matter experts who would speak on a specialized topic. So at Great HR, we believe this provides our attendees a unique opportunity to meet, interact, and get their queries answered directly by the expert. So in today's Parichay Ask the Expert session, we are going to discuss what are the challenges and compliances of EPF and how HR can manage them easily. So this session will help us find answers to all our queries. And for the same, let me introduce our today's expert, Mr. Ravi Mishra. To tell you more about Mr. Ravi Mishra, so Ravi is in the industry with more than 26 years of experience in human resource management and is currently the Senior Vice President, HR in Advanced Material Business, a division of Grasim Industries Limited. He has been associated with human resource management in diversified organizations such as Nicholas Piramal Group, Magia Group of Industries, Aditya Birla Chemicals, Ultratech Cement, and Birla Carbon. Currently, he is working with the advanced materials business of Aditya Birla Group as a vice president based out of Mumbai. So more than 2 decades of experience, Mr. Ravi Mishra has got here in a cross-cultural work environment, and is also a veteran in building teams and getting the best out of them with the maturity of understanding the business perspectives, linkages, and strategic orientation in actions with regard to people management. So, sir, welcome to the session, and we are delighted to have you here.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the participants and audience on this live session.
Sure. Yeah. So dear audience, like I already mentioned, our session is going to be basically Q&A. So first thing, what I will do is I have a couple of questions about our today's topic. So sir would like to hear it from you. And post this, we will go to the audience and then take up their questions. So the first question I get into my mind whenever I think of this EPF is, what are the common challenges faced by the organization with respect to EPF compliance?
Okay, Rashmi. What my suggestion would be the first with regard to your question. Before I speak anything further, I would like to share with my experience and workable solution, whatever I speak to. The challenges is like this, that first of all, we all HR professional should understand about the concept of creation of this act. So how this act is defined and what is the purpose of this act when it was promulgated by our lawmakers and constitution. So my suggestion would be for all our professional, what I have done and I find it worthwhile, that first we should read the act in full. This act is not a very large document. It must be around 40 to 50 pages. So first challenge that many of us in hurry don't read the act, but go through the selected points. So our concept is not clear about the act. And unless you are very clear conceptually, you will never be able to complete the job in respect as it is required to. So first, we need to understand, read the act, and the act is combination of two other linkaged acts. One is called the EDLI, one is EPF Act, one EDLI means Implied Deposit Linked Insurance, and third, equally important, is pension, EPS, Implied Pension Scheme, and total these things is converted into EPS, Implied Provident Fund Scheme. So they are the small document, but employer, the HR professional who are responsible for this act should read it in total, number one. Second is explaining implies about its eligibility, entitlement, benefits, and their responsibility. Implies are also responsible about this act, how they are updated. Because if someone has given birth to his or her baby, or his father is now no more, something like this, whatever his update is happening in terms of nomination, this is the employee responsibility to inform to the organization in writing and make the necessary changes. So second part is very important, that how the HR professional who is responsible for job is bringing awareness in the mind of the employee that what is his responsibility to get the better services of the employees' provident fund. And we can also suggest that company can create a one-pager leaflet which can be shared to employee about the benefit and entitlement. And there are several benefits of this scheme which many employees do not know, like for example, loans and advances, interest comparison, when you should take the loan from the EPF and when you should not take. So there are evaluation of the loan amount and your ability to pay, because in EPF, for example, in brief, you get a very good interest around 8.5%, while if you are having a bank FD, you always get a lesser interest and all that. So unless it is very much important and you don't have the option, you suggest employee not to take the loan from EPF because EPF interest will continue for up to your 58, 60 years of age till retirement. And as a good employer, we need to take the responsibility and try to provide full support to make employee understand its value in his life and financial management. Fourth is we should also encourage employee, those who are not very educated or those who don't feel the need, to emphasize the need of the major benefit and entitlement of PF to their family members, especially spouses or those who are nominated for there. So that for God's sake, if there is casualty happens, his or her wife or husband is aware of the benefit. If he's not, so that he can get the full amount of that. So these are the challenges I have seen that we professionals sometimes used to miss. For us, maybe it is not very important for a time being, but for employee's life and his family, it is very, very important, and it should be taken full care of. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, sir. And in the similar lines, I have next question, since we were already talking about making people understand the importance of EPF and the benefits out of it. So my question is, how can HR professionals create a checklist to overcome all the EPF compliance glitches?
Okay. So it's interesting because many times we do halfway in hurry, and then we do complete maybe after a week, after 10 days, but anything can happen anytime. So as for compliance checklist is concerned, on the day one, once employee comes for the joining in the organization, the first thing as a good employer, we should complete the compliance part in terms of employee entitlement and benefit. So he should be asked to fill up all the forms, like who is going to be nominees, whether it is EPF Act or Gratuity Act. And so in nominee, there are the various situations. If in case of the casualty, if you want to distribute the pension among your children and your wife or whatever. So it's before he goes to work practically at the workplace, employer should ensure that he has filled up the entire checklist form. More so in terms of employee, where employee's input is required, his signature on the nomination and witness, everything should be completed on the day one. I remember in one company, I had come to know that employee joined, after joining post lunch, he had gone to the plant, inside the plant, and by the time he went plant, these forms etc. were not filled, and there was fatal accident in the plant because of fire, and that employee was not aware the escape route in the plant, and he died inside the plant. And his PF etc. form were not filled up, and it was a bad example on the part of the employer that employer didn't accept that he was our employee and something like this, because there was nothing on the record and something like this. Lots of hue and cries happened, and then case was filed in police and PF department, and it took around 6 years to get his dues. That he was offered the job, and he had gone to join, and that is how he happened within the premise of the plant, and employer was trying to skip from his responsibility, and that is how it happened. So my suggestion is, don't allow to go at a workplace unless his nomination and compliances form signature is filled up and subsequently sent to the authority. In case of regional office, you have to inform the EPFO. If you're a trust or if you're exempted unit, whatever the case may be, it should be compliant. So first and foremost is that it should be filled up in terms of EPF and gratuity. And today, since we are talking about the EPF, so nomination is very important, and encourage employee, and you should give one copy of the nomination form to employee. As per act, there has to be 3 copies of the nomination form. One used to go to the EPFO, the Employees Provident Fund organization. Another goes to the employer, maybe employer might be keeping personal file or whatever. And third copy is also legally should be given to the employee, so that employee's family should also be aware of that who is nominated for the PF, and it should be recorded in the hands of the employee. Second, the moment you allot the membership number, that membership number should be given to the employee as well, and inform the EPFO immediately. Earlier, it used to be a courier service. We used to get it done, completed, and then the hard copy used to be sent. and this confirmation used to come from EPF. Sometimes it used to take a month or so. But nowadays it is online. So immediately you are able to get the filing record, a document, and one copy of that should also be given to the employee so that the employee is aware of what is his EPF membership number. Suggest employee to check how to check his contribution accumulation in EPF. So today it is all online available. So take a little pen to familiarize the employee how he can go on the website and can check what is the contribution, what is the accumulated contribution, and what is year on year interest is added into that. Fifth is be very careful when you are filling the form on the EPFO about the employee detail. Follow the exact principles of spelling. Whatever the spelling you have put on the name as an employee, exactly the same spelling should be also on his Aadhaar card. I mean, going to retire and they find that there is name what he mentioned on any legal dues unless both are the same. So for EPFO, it is very important that this is the same employee and it has to be verified with his Aadhaar card. So already, I think few more days has been given to all the establishment to map the Aadhaar card of all employees in the PF records. Only then they will be able to get their pension and other dues. So make sure that this should be corrected on the day one to avoid the future hassles and all that. So these are the few very important checklists where the stake is equally important for employee and employer.
Sure. So first of all, it is sad to hear the incident about one of the workers in the plant. It's very unfortunate that this happened. So I think this is an alarm for all of us not to take it lightly. So thank you so much for sharing all those insights. I'm sure our attendees have found it very useful. And now I'm moving on to our next question. What is the role of the company or the HR team beyond completing the checkboxes as a regulatory compliance?
Yeah, so many of us understand that employee has joined, he has to fill up all the forms right from joining and medical insurance and blah blah, and also the EPF. And once it is done, employee has joined and his contribution has started. So normally company means when I'm saying company, I am addressing more to my HR colleagues, HR professionals. So because we are here to defend the employer-driven company. So we should take first with our heart and mind that we own as a role of company to support the services of the company to the employee. Like an engineer or maintenance engineer, production engineer is bringing the production. Similarly, we also should feel accountable that whatever the services are there in terms of people management, it should be delivered at the last end of the street. So it is not enough that we have completed the PF formalities and have filled up and informed to the EPFO or trust, whatever the case may be, and it is over. No, it is not over. So what happens is after these compliances, depending upon your situation, your comfort, but I appreciate that on a regular basis, on a periodic basis, we should inform employees if there is addition or deletion in their family member, and if we can help them if there are some financial crisis, and if in the market, if they are going to get the, say, loan or something at the rate of 10% or 12% to manage another option, they can share the entitlement of the advance or withdrawal of their amount from the PF, which will not cost them. what loss maybe the interest rate what they get in PF is quite high compared to other investment options. So normally it should be avoided unless you are getting the loan from outside at the higher rate. So time to time we need to communicate, or maybe like what I do in my company in every quarter when we have a town hall meeting. So during the town hall meeting, we also have one of the agenda point that if any employee has any challenges with PF, or he's confused what to do or something, and we share a few cases. If you have given birth, or if you are a single, and if you have got married, you need to change the nomination of your wife in place of, if you have earlier when you were a bachelor, if you have nominated your brother or sister or mother or father, you can change the nomination pattern as per act, because now you have got married. This should be done. And apart from that, what is most critical factor in EPF non-compliances in our country is contract workmen. We are even a bit qualified. So some of us, I mean, some of us very careful about these benefits and entitlement. But I tell you, many even educated people, so-called educated people in our organization, they do not know the calculation, interest impact, and they never check that how much accumulation has happened, or maybe because of error or mistake or misadventure, his company has not contributed the correct amount, or maybe because of XYZ error, that amount has not reached in their PF fund. So we should check, but more than 90% cases you'll find in the case of the contract workmen, since they are not very much educated, they don't have the facilities, they don't have the awareness about their right and authority, and their employment is also very changing in India. Many times contract workman is another company, then again he is going to work for 2 years or another company. So if after 15 years, if you ask a contract workman in how many companies you have worked, or how much contribution you have made from your salary to the PF fund, many of them are not aware at all. And that's the reason you'll find crores of thousands of crores of rupees in EPFO remains unclaimed every year. So these are the money of the poor people who are doing the great services, but they are never able to claim because they are not aware of. They are some sort of nomadic workforce, or sometimes it is also called the floating workforce, and they are not aware. And contractor used to be many times those small contractor is not very much aware of, and they are not so sensible how to educate their workmen. Their job is in between kind of agency or agent or broker providing the service, and they don't have the sensitivity towards this responsibility. So being an employer, being a company, we should take we should also feel the responsibility of taking contractors' issue with much more emphasis, how to educate them, how to bring the awareness in their languages of understanding their benefits, and keep on checking. And if they need any support, even if the contract is not supporting, we should come forward and bring the awareness and make sure that contractor is paying the contribution every month regularly. If you see on the record the defaults of the PF, so I understand it is around 70% default is on the part of contractor and contract workmen, and many times these contractors try to pursue in a wrong way to play with the act and not contributing on the full amount what is their salary. I mean, salary for PF is there. So we should take the responsibility how to make awareness of the contract workmen. considering a great service to the people in the organization and outside the organization.
Yeah, sure, sir. I totally agree with you on this point because I feel, yeah, it's very important to educate and bring in the awareness of PF among the workforce in the company or in any factories. Only then the efforts what we are putting in as a whole will be fruitful. So that is completely agreed. My next question is, could you please share some best practices in EPF compliance process with some case studies if possible?
Yeah. I recall one incident, Rasmi, that how if employees' nomination is not properly recorded, how it happens. I'll not name the company. I was working in that company in Ahmedabad. I joined just 3 months back in that company, way back in 2002, like 2002. I received a call from Madhya Pradesh, a place called Devas, that that old man was crying, and he said, "Sir, I have come to know your phone number with lots of struggle during last 15 days. My daughter is a widow now, and she has no financial assistant. I'm highly diabetic and don't know when my end will come." That gentleman was retired 10 years before from police department in the state of the Madhya Pradesh. So he was virtually crying, and I told, "What can I do? What do you expect from me?" So he told, "I have come to know that your company is covered under the EPF, and one of my relatives told that she can get the pension on behalf of her husband, who is no more." So I came to know that what happened just after a day of after marriage, that engineer committed suicide, and it was not known. I mean, for that unfortunate girl or lady, this was a big shock in their family. And she was also not aware, even her parents were not aware what happened. But just the next day of marriage, that boy committed suicide, and then just after rituals, that girl went back to her parents' house, and she started staying over there. So she felt that I should not go to now her husband's I have no more husband's house, and this is how it happened. So after 2 years, that her father called me, and then I inquired who is getting pension or nobody is getting pension. What is the situation? So once I checked with the record, so I found that that employee had filled up the nomination form 2 years back. Up before this incident, during the joining period, he had nominated his father as a nominee because that time he was a bachelor. So after his death, that pension was going to his father's account, and not because his marriage, that was not recorded, because that incident had happened a day, 2 days back. So I inquired whether pension is going. Then I spoke to his father, I mean the employee's father. He told, "Yes, I'm getting the pension," and all that. I asked him politely, "Yes." And then I asked him politely whether your son was married. So he told, "No, he was not married. He was single." Then I told him, "No, as per my understanding, he got married and he committed suicide. And I have come to know with the communication of that lady's father and all that." So it took a long, then he told, "No, he's speaking a lie, he's spreading a wrong rumor and all that." So I told, "No, he has sent a photograph of the marriage and marriage card. And if you don't accept, I will file a case against you and you will be behind the bar because it's a great crime you are doing. you are snatching somebody's entitlement, her fundamental right and all that. It took almost, for me, a 4 months battle, even in a condition when the regional PF commissioner was very well known to me, and I was in Ahmedabad, the capital city, known to the people. Despite that, it took a long time to pursue his father to go before police station and all that, but initially he did not agree. But finally, to a great effort, after 4 and then +2, after 6 months, that lady started getting the pension. So from
Yeah. So looks like yes, sir. Sir, am I audible now? I think you're on mute. Sorry to.
am I audible?
Yes, yes.
I don't know how long I could speak. So
You're explaining about after how long the employee started getting the pension.
Yeah. So in nutshell, after 6 months, it happened, but it was a very emotional moment when she, along with her parents, had come to express the gratitude to the company to take a pain and help for her life. So her old father and mother had come. I was very happy. I can recall those moments even after 19 years. So what I want to convey to my fellow colleagues, that once you do these things, you feel yourself very happy and delighted. It makes sense in your life if you have brought the happiness and brought a light in their whole family. So it is not a compliance, it's also a moral responsibility. So if you are a great, once you are compliant, for example, when you are in the daytime, when you are able to see there is no police and on the signal traffic, there is a red, you are stopping. But in the middle of night, if you are able to see there is no policeman, there is no one to see, there is no camera, and there is a red light and you are jumping. So this is what brings your moral and ethics. So as an individual, if I don't want to preach to any of us, but what I say to you, feel a great happiness inside you. Now, once you go a little extra mile beyond the compliance and checklist, but to live a moral and ethical service to support other people. This was one incident. Another incident happened just about 3 years back, 2.5 years back rather. So an employee got retired. Sometimes he had worked with us, and after that he had gone to another company in Kolkata. I will not name the individual and company. From there he got retired, and as per record of that company, he had served the 9 years of continuous service in that company after leaving us. So as per Act, since he had not completed 10 years, so he was not entitled for the pension. And from West Bengal, where he was working the last, from RPFC office, from EPF, his accounts was settled. And since he was not entitled to pension because of only 9 years, as per record, he had served. He had got the refund from PF and pension fund both, but not entitled to the pension. And suddenly, after 3 or 4 months later, he approached us that I don't get the pension because the record in the EPF Calcutta was not there, not updated, and my company where I worked last dished mean it was their responsibility that they had to submit the Annexure K of my earlier employments. Though that guy had worked for 27 years, but on the record, and that guy was a deputy general manager. He was from engineering background, well educated. And so what happens, he didn't get the pension and the accounts were closed. Then I spoke to some of my legal friends in the labor laws. So they told me once the account has been closed, he has received the money from the pension fund, etc. It will not be possible for him to get the pension now. If he would not have accepted the amount, then it was easier. We could have filed the claim and all that, but this is not possible. So I was internally not in agreement that it is a fundamental right of the employee to get his dues. He is entitled to. If Ravi has done the mistake, Rasmi has done the mistake, why that employee should suffer? So I spoke to one of my friend who practiced in the High Court. So he told you can initiate, but the chances of only 50-50 based on the experiences. Because accounts are closed by the government of India and all that. And I approached after approaching to the file and rank, and the last approach I had put a communication to a PMO about this employee. So we got a fantastic response. I mean, within 15 days, we got the response from there. And then respective RPFCs of the Gujarat and UP were approached, and they were asked to certify Annexure K and send to his last EPFO, that was the Kolkata. So it took hardly 4 to 5 months, and he had to deposit the money, whatever he had got from the EPFO Calcutta, towards the pension fund. And he started getting, after 6-7 months, after all the verification, cancelled check, Aadhaar and PAN number and all that. So got updated. His account, which was closed in EPFO Kolkata, was reopened. Everything was corrected, and he started getting pension. So a huge relief to me that this was a unique situation. I also built up my confidence. I took the extra mile. He was not interested because he was saying, I can't afford from Chennai to go to Kolkata time and again, nobody will listen. So I told him, for my company, it doesn't matter if I spend 10,000, 20,000 from my side to book your ticket, your flight and your hotel cost at my end, though you are not retired from my company, but I take the ownership to help you, because at some point of time you have worked with us. So I sent him at our cost along with my employee to go to Kolkata, to go here and there and everything. And it was done. So this experience tells us very clearly that if you're right, if your conviction is correct, follow the path without any fear of losing the efforts. Maybe it may take 10,000, 20,000 additional burden to company. And if company is not ready, you convince the guy, you can go by train or XYZ, but you should certainly give the support. Suppose tomorrow that employee is not there, only his wife is left out, and in every family, there is no family support system, even in India, and not all the families are well privileged for the economic support. So if there is a single lady or a small boy or something is there in the family, and they are losing this economic benefit for what they are entitled. So if they are losing, it is our failure, our loss as well. We should feel like that. So these are two examples I can put right now with a suggestion that we should travel some extra mile if required. But it makes a lot of sense to the organization. That guy used to speak hundreds of people, how Aditya Birla Group or XYZ, I don't know the name. That has helped in my life, where I had no positive trust that I will ever get the pension. So these are the things, these are very critical things. So my suggestion, what you are using the word compliance or check boxes, we should rise ourselves beyond the checklists and compliances in our life. in our life, in society as well, wherever there is an occasion to rise. Yeah. So these are two specific cases.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. So I think these two incidents are a very good example for all of us to understand that getting the work done or just finishing the work or task is not a thing, but yeah, take that extra step to go ahead and make it all worth it, considering the moral, the ethics, the satisfaction. That's what makes it all worth it. Definitely, yes, sir. So my last question to you, sir. What are three major suggestions that you would like to share with our participants that may help at the workforce to enhance the employee experience?
So, Rasmi, I'll again reiterate first thing is that I should understand the act fully. And it's a very, I tell you, it's a very easy, it's a 45 page document. We should read, not only reading, but understanding the act properly. And during the joining time, we used to be in hurry how to make this happening in 1 hour or 2 hours. Have a patience, have a cup of tea for yourself and the employee. Go through and explain everything while he's filling the form. Hey, you are entitled for pension. If something wrong happens, partial physical injury, disablement, it is the ideal life. If you need any loan for your daughter's marriage, your children's education, or buying the house, or construction, or piece of land to make a house, you are entitled to do. So all these benefits should be explained. I have seen very few HR professionals who used to explain all these small things. They are hurried to get information done, filled up on the form, and that's all. It should not happen. It should take at least 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So when you are planning to employ joining on the day one, you make your strategy in such a way that I will take 1.5 hours to explain fully on the day one about the employee's provident, what is his entitlement, what is his accountability. At the same time, you share his accountability to update the family member if somebody sadly passed away, or some child birth is there, or some divorce has happened, or whatever, I mean something. So number one, be careful about the contractors. I have much more sympathy for contract maker because they are totally into the dark in India. So make sure that the contractor is paying the same amount of contribution what the contract workman entitled, and they are regularly paying in the EPFO so that it keeps on adding in their fund. So contract workmen's contribution should be thoroughly checked on month-to-month basis, and which is very easily possible. And conduct some workshop or some awareness session, some sort of town hall meeting with a contract workman in group to update them whether you have checked your PF account where the contract is paying full amount, and if you are not aware, this is the point of contact in our company. You can approach at any time on Sunday or XY date, whatever day you can define, or Tuesday, so that they can come and you can help that whether the payment has been made properly or not. So contract workman, and maybe I have to say it will be great if during this session, sometimes if you can invite even EPFO officials, about more than 90% PF departments officers will be very happy if you invite them at your workplace to bring the awareness session, because PF department also feels very happy in those cases that hey, this companies are very honest and they want to do the justice with their contract workmen and the people to bringing awareness, and they are not hiding anything, any compliance or contribution. And fourth thing, as a human error, if you have done some mistake in the not updating the annexure K for the EPS, employee pension schemes and all that, no worries. जिसे बोलते हैं हिंदी में जब जागो तभी सवेरा है. So at that point in time, you update their EPS membership so that like I was sharing the case where the guy had worked for 27 years and the record is 9 years only. So it should be done, and best way is that it should be done on the day one. So we don't know if something wrong happens, and there are many people who are not aware of. I mean, there are many spouses who are not aware of all these details. They are going to lose for lifelong. So these are the 4 major sessions I would like to share with my colleagues. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. So thanks for your wonderful suggestions. I'm sure our attendees will definitely benefit out of this. And now I think it's time for us to take the audience questions. So dear attendees, please start putting in your questions in the Q&A, and we will take them up one by one and try to get the answers from our expert, Mr. Ravi Mishra, today. Sir, the first question here we have is, I think this is somewhat similar to the already quoted case study. So I'll still take it up. So regarding PF death claim, who will be eligible for below criteria? Like before marriage, he declares his parents as nominee, and after marriage, he was not declared the nominee. So for this case, benefit goes to parents or spouse. Please clarify.
Spouse, very clearly as per Act. The implies immediate family after marriage. By definition, immediate family is his wife or her husband and their children. Very clear.
Sure. So I think that answers the question. And next, there's an interesting question here, sir. So the question goes this way. Nowadays, there are many other options which gives good return. The investment pattern of people is changed. So term insurance are providing faster tide than EPFO. Not to mention the amount, employee would get very less and huge time consuming with lots of unwanted processes. So employees are more interested in-hand salary than such deductions. So in such cases, why employers should push or request the employees to opt for PF?
First coming to
so sorry to interrupt you, sir. I think your video is frozen there.
EPF part, say 12% contribution. If you are making 12%, the similar amount is shared by the employer. So in a way, I can say maybe your individual negotiation at a senior level used to be a little different that you can ask, but my first preference would be to go for EPF because only you are contributing only 12% and you are getting 12% from the company, number one. Number two, the interest, like in many other countries, right from Japan, where their interest is outside is only 1% and all that, or sometimes 0 even. So even in India, maybe in time to come, interest rates may go down, but I'm not a financial expert, so I will not make any statement and judgment on that. First is that currently you are getting 8.5% interest. I mean tax-free in interest. Number one. Number two, other benefits you don't know when something goes wrong. So one, security is also there. Third thing, it is 100% secure income. Because if I'm putting, maybe I can put some in stock market or mutual fund, they may fetch a better return, but it is not secured. Maybe as you had come to know just about one and a half year back when the COVID was the climax, the Sensex had gone to around 34,000, 35,000. And if during that time, if you would have needed the money, your investment had gone to half. So if that time you would have needed the money, the value of your investment was half loss, I mean, if had risen. But that is not in the case of EPF. Whatever share market is happening, it is not related to, I mean, if there is some stress happening because of the investment by Government of India, but Government of India want to be employee friendly as a secure welfare means. So even if Government of India's fund is not giving a very good benefit of their own investment, but they are giving the interest rates to the employees around 8.5 to 8.45%, something like very close to 8.5%, mostly on the plus side. Third thing, that amount is not a very large. So if you are a very high-end salary, say if your basic salary is 1 lakh or 2 lakhs, so you have an option not to pay the PF on the whole amount. So for PF, what is more important that you can, even though if you are getting the basic salary of 1 lakh or 2 lakhs, but you can pay PF on your minimum entitlement basic, that is, as on today, it is 15,000. So for 15,000, 12%, 15,000 is a very less amount. Okay. So if you don't want to pay on a full amount, just write an application to the EPFO through your employer that you don't want to contribute on the full amount. So that will happen something like this. So your contribution towards EPFO is minimum to secure your future. So this is the few advantage over and over. If you go and take a term insurance or investing on some other instrument, so most of us feel that investing on EPF is much more better, secure, and future oriented. That is why even if you see, apart from EPF, there is another platform where people used to invest in a PPF, Public Provident Fund, because these two instruments are secured, and security is also very important. Okay, maybe at the very early stage of career, basically what Rasmi you are sharing is I have also heard with many youngsters who are young on the job, they want to enjoy at the early stage of life because they don't have much responsibility and all that. So it is your call, and if you want that, maybe for the first 4 years or 5 years, if you don't want to get into the PF, and if your organization is coming to the exempted, you can take the option. But as I was sharing the case study of that employee who come to suicide, just you can imagine the feeling. That employee, if you don't believe in mythology and all that, but the guy who is no more were able to serve his wife, with whom even he was not able to interact for more than an hour, and that lady, just because of her destiny, she is getting lifelong pension. So if that young engineer would have thought of investing money here and there, so that whole money would have got to his father only, and his wife would have got anything. So we don't know unknown territory of future of our destiny. So this small token of amount, if it goes and makes sense in your family, I think we should do.
Yeah, definitely, sir. I absolutely agree with you. Yeah. So our next question, one of our attendees say, my organization is small with less than 10 employees and the strength is growing. But when should I try to register for EPF?
In best of my knowledge, Rasmi, earlier this was a class 10, but now even if you have only 2 employees, and if you want to contribute the PF, you can take the permission from the EPFO, and you can cover them, in best of my knowledge.
Sure. Okay. So I think that
earlier this clause was there, but now it is. You have to compulsorily follow when you have 10 employees or more, but employer is willing and the employee is willing, then they can go for even for the listener.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. So next question is how to resolve the EPS issue who is not part of EPS. So how to calculate his PF then?
So for EPS, there is a formula. One basic condition is that employee has contributed at least 10 years in his career. maybe even in between, if there is a break, no problem. But total service rendered in terms of contribution is 10 years. So he will get uh, the, uh, the pension he's entitled to based on his last salary. So there is a formula. If you want, I can mail you formula how to calculate about your pension amount after completion of 10 years.
Sure, sir. Definitely. Yeah. So I think that answers the question. Next one is, could you please guide on voluntary PF deduction?
Yes. So there are many people who are interested and have been doing the voluntary PF contribution because of the safety and accumulated, interest year on year basis. So one can go for the voluntary. He has to fill up a form to give to the employer that I want to get the voluntary contribution made on X amount. So this is how it happens. Since this year, April 21, there is change in the regulation. Earlier, what used to happen that high-end salaried employees were getting a huge benefit out of this because many senior people used to contribute lakhs or even more than lakhs of rupees on the PF, so that they were getting the tax-free good interest. But from this year, the government of India has changed the act because this PF Act was made to frustrate the people, secure their future. So now what changes has happened that I want to bring additional knowledge to employees so that employees may not be aware of. Since April this year, so if you are contributing more than your entitled amount as a regulatory part, then on those interest parts, so if in a year, if you are earning an interest of 5 lakhs, because you're contributing every month 1 lakh, so on those interest rate of 8.5%, what is accruing your account, so that will be a taxable on the remaining amount. I mean, if as a compliance, if you can contribute only 2.5 lakhs, for example, or 3 lakhs, and you have contributed 10 lakhs, so on 7 lakhs, whatever interest accrued in your account at a rate of 8.5%, so that 7 lakhs in contribution interest will be applicable as per tax rule, as per income tax rule. So maybe it will come around 5.5%. So that was one of the reasons. From this year, many of people now is not very interested to go for a voluntary PF contribution.
Sure. Thank you, sir. So the next question, I think one of our attendees are facing the challenge to update nomination from employees portal. So their question is, should this be done by employee or employers?
It should be done by employer. And certain updates can be done by employee himself. So if there is any technical glitch, so they can contact with the EPFO. EPFO has their own technical team, so they can check where and why is the problem, and it will be sorted out. Slowly, this technology platform of the EPFO has become much more comfortable, I mean, employee friendly. So certain details later on is to be updated by employee himself. He can go on login with his PRAN number, and he can update all those things.
Sure. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. So the next question is something related to KYC and Aadhaar, sir. So one of our attendees say that they have been struggling with KYC or Aadhaar linking problem due to date of birth, which differs more than 3 years. And the members they don't have their valid proof for the date of birth. So shall we proceed with their Aadhaar and PAN along with joint declaration of both member and employer?
Date of birth will be followed only from the Aadhaar record, whatever in Aadhaar, it has been fitted. If employee is not finding that the date of birth which is mentioned on Aadhaar card is not correct, then he has to first approach to Aadhaar UID authority to go with the correct certificate or document to declare that, hey, what is mentioned in the Aadhaar is not correct. I want to get it updated. And they will send the document and UID will approve and update the date of birth on Aadhaar first. So on the basis of that updation, updated Aadhaar with the new date of birth, they can link it with their PF account. So first, get it corrected on Aadhaar card itself.
Yeah, I think that's the best possible solution. Thank you for that, sir. And dear attendees, we are running short of time. So sorry if I have not been able to take up all your questions. We are trying our best to take up your questions. And since we are already running short of time, probably I'll be able to take last two questions for the day. So the next question is something related to unmarried employees. So the question is, in case of unmarried employee who are entitled to claim pension after the employee's death, so how does it work?
It is his or her personal choice, but he or she should be sensible whom he or she wants to nominate, depending upon economic status in the family. So, some employee feel that my father is old and he has no economic support. My brothers are well settled. My sisters are well settled. So they nominate their father. They used to mention sometimes both father and mother 50%. So whatever pension will come, 50% will go to father and 50% will go to mother. Sometimes in a very peculiar situation, once I had got it, that an employee had a father and her mother was divorced with his father. So it was a very peculiar case. So what employee asked, can I do 50% to my father and 50% to my mother who is living separately from my father? My father had divorced. So I told yes, you can do. I'll put it on the record that at the end of this, she's your mother. So her relationship with her husband doesn't matter. What matters is your relationship with that lady, and she's your mother. So it all depends on case to case, or maybe if you don't have the parents, you can nominate your brother, sister, whatever. But you should use your own conscience. Who's the best person to be nominated?
Sure, sir. Yeah. So I'll just take up the last question for today, and it is about independent contractors, since we were already talking about it. So the question is, who is an independent contractor as per EPF Act, and what are the PF liabilities on the principal employer while engaging an independent contractor?
Just give me a moment.
And also, in the meantime, dear attendees, I would like to make a small announcement here.
Yeah, who are big contractor like Larsen & Toubro, L&T. Yeah, so there are those big contractors who have already got registered in EPF record. So those are called independent contractor, and many times they used to work from their workplace and serve to the company as a direct delivery of output and all that. Suppose, for example, I have a electric motor, which is to refurbish something like this, and I used to send that motor a DG set to a contractor. He has a workshop, and that motor is repaired and sent it back. And so I'm not aware of that who is working on my motor, who are the workmen, and that established that contractor is registered in EPFO, and he is complying the EPFO. So my responsibility is only up to that limit, that he should give me the record that whatever the salary I'm paying on as a labor wages. No. So their PF is contributed. So even though he is an independent contractor, as a principal employer, I owe the responsibility to make sure that it is complied. So even in the independent workman case, I should demand the certificate and document to make sure that whatever wages I have paid for the workmanship, their contribution to the PF has been made.
Sure, sir. So I hope that answers the question. And dear attendees, as I was saying, I'm so sorry. A few of your questions might not be unanswered today, but please don't be disappointed. You can always reach out to us on our community platform called Great Tribe. In fact, Mr. Ravi Mishra is also available on our community platform. All you need to do is just sign up to the community. It is completely free of cost, and you can start posting your questions. And not just Ravi Mishra, many industry veterans like him are already there as the expert panel there. So you can just post your questions and get your questions answered by them directly on the community. So please do try it out. And here is the link, as you can already see on the screen. Right. So on this note, I think it's now time to end the session. Before I end it, I would like to thank our expert speaker of today's session, Mr. Ravi Mishra, for joining us today, and also making it happen by taking the time out of his busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir.
It's my pleasure, Rashmi. I hope it makes sense to our audience and participants. I'm more than happy.
Sure, sir. Yes. And also, dear attendees, thank you for joining us. And the recorded session of the same will be shared with all of you soon. And if you have any other queries, you can always reach out to us either on our community platform, Great Tribe, or you can simply write back to us on the given mail ID, that is sharmishta@greatofgreative.com. So I think the insights shared by Mr. Ravi Mishra in our today's session is definitely going to help all our attendees today. And thank you once again, and hope to see you in our upcoming sessions. Till then, stay safe, take care, have a great time.
Good day for all of you.